I'm doing DJ Cloud.
What up, guys? LocsNLoad Firearms Reviews here today. I'm joined with Undead Prophet. And today, guys, we're going to be doing a tabletop review of one of our favorite optics, the ACOG at home.
Yeah.
All right, and so as you can see on the table, we got a variety of different models. Some of them the same model, but different reticles, different colors. And Eric has the micro Prism optic.
The brand new kid on the block.
So the micro Prism is still a 5X, just in a smaller, lighter package. And you got the original 5X Prism, which is in this nice thick with 3Cs package.
It is.
And so we're gonna do a tabletop. Then later on we'll do a range review on another video. But basically we're gonna talk about these optics. Again, go through the different models and some pros and cons if you're on the market looking for the ACOG at home, and you know how we mounted our red dots. So
yeah, that's probably the most important thing that I've definitely learned from messing around with these two optics. So, all right, so Thomas, you go over your original ACOG at home setup.
Okay, so I was one of the first ones to get this, because when I was looking, online for that one dual optic, I knew I wanted something with magnification. Also, at the same time, I needed something for up close shooting, so it's gonna have to be able to piggyback a red dot. And so when Primary Arms dropped the 5X, I kind of knew, all right, that's where I wanted to go. And so I went with this model. This is the old, like the original model, so it still has the ACSS reticle with the horseshoe on there. Which I'm fine with, but I do like the Aurora reticles on like these optics right here. With the horseshoe just fine. And so I got the optic, and it came pretty much just like this, black with the pick rail. And I mounted my 509T. I had to get a Picatinny adapter like this, and then a plate, and then mount the 509T, which kind of raised up my height over bore just a little bit. And so I was contacted by, I'm gonna give a shameless plug to Red Arrow Concepts, and he made this particular mount machined at home to where it will accept a 509T, but lowers the height of the optic, so it's literally flush with the top of my turrets. Like, you can't get no lower than that. And so when I go to use it, like a normal red dot, it's right at that like 2 something height. So it's very natural up front, and again, I'm loving the display. So no qualms about it. And so, Eric's seen it, he got to shoot it, and then, he fell in love, and, he's got a couple that I'll let him talk about.
Yeah, so like Thomas said, because he made the ACOG at home setup, I tried his, I shot his, and I was like, yeah, I see why you did this. So I ended up getting my own. So this is the same optic as his, same reticle. Originally, I wanted this optic with the Aurora reticle because it mimics the ACOG reticle a little bit better. So when I was cruising around and talking to certain people, I ended up snagging this one instead at first, but then I found out that the micros were on sale, so I said, yeah, let me go ahead and grab that. But going back to like Thomas said, as far as about the dot on top, I have tried and experimented with the height over bore using just a RMR and a adapter plate for it, and I don't know if I'm just spoiled because of that setup, but I have to admit the height over bore, it's...
I wish, put it like there so you can see the difference in the height over bore. It's just, I know it's very minuscule, someone's looking at it like, that's not very much. But
now if you want like a 2.93 something kind of like height over bore on your red dot, sure, but like 2.26 is probably the max I really want on a red dot over bore, like height over bore.
I really don't think I would like to go higher than this.
Whatever this is, whatever this height over bore is, I would say that I wouldn't call it a standard, but it's very comfortable, and especially because I have a long neck, using that is very comfortable.
All right, and again, as someone who used this when training and actually shooting, again, it's very upfront and natural. When we did our last video at Key's place, and the targets helped kind of surprise us, It's very quick and natural, just to goes just right from my shoulder, and there's the dot. You know, it honestly feels like I'm shooting like a normal red dot on some type of like YHM riser, like you used to do.
Yeah. Or
Or you look at my 11.5 or your 10.5, and it's very upfront and natural. And I had no problems at all. Like the fact that I was able to do it so smoothly and easily made me fall in love more with this optic and the ability of it. And then at the same time, doing that same drill, we were to engage targets out to 250, 300. And so with this whole setup, I was able to not positively ID the target, not just see a blurry object. Because again, like how we train, we got the camouflage.
I was just about to ask, do you have the silhouette one camouflage out there?
Yeah, just like how we do. We had like the Marpat woodland shirt, and even had like a type of plate carrier over there, like how someone would normally be, because no one's really gonna be a bright white and steel target in the middle of the woods.
I mean, you can if you want to. You just make life easier for us.
Yeah, if you want.
I'm just saying.
If you want to go out by taking out by short buds like that, I mean, hey. But the fact that I was able to positively ID, range those targets to get distance with the reticle in here again. I'll put up images, with the Aurora and the ACSS, so you know the difference. But I was able to positive ID, range, engage those targets out to 300, then break down my kit, patrol through the woods, and then we got snuck up on with these targets.
With a tripod on your back, right?
Yeah, tripod in my backpack, and use my red dot to engage these targets that were like 25, 30-ish meters. And we did a lateral bounding drill out of there. And so, dual optic, like solidified my eyes right now. And again, for the price point of all under $800.
Yeah. For the price of these optics, especially for this combo, and I would definitely have to say that you probably optimize it with this mount in conjunction with this optic, because now you have an enclosed emitter, so you're protected from the weather a little bit more. That's something to, again, still be tested and be sure of because of QC. But this setup like that, it's dope. So, and it's robust.
Yeah, which is, I guess, we could talk in, I guess, why I went with this one versus the micro.
Yes.
Because they were both on the market. I could have gotten either one. But to me, looking at the optics, again, this is just purely my opinion, and, just going off looks, the original model looked a little bit more robust and durable than the micro. Even though the micro is lighter, this is like my only real optics. I was not so worried about weight. I wanted almost as close to ACOG durability.
You wanted LCAN durability, just about.
All that. I wanted to get as much durability as I could with my money. And so this seemed a little bit more durable. And then besides me changing out that mount, that was it. And the thing with the micro,
which I'll go ahead and talk about with the micro.
Yeah.
Now, I like the micro for everything it is, and I believe that the goal, if this was the goal with Primary Arms, was to go for a size and weight reduction factor, they definitely knocked it out of the park with this. Glass clarity wise, at least to me, and I'm still testing this optic myself, they're about the same. They're using Japanese glass, so you're gonna get that downrange clarity. I'm glad that you had a good report when you guys did that last training, that you can PID out at distance, which is the whole point of why we're doing these optics. I want to be able to PID accurately at distance with these optics.
The glass is not going to be an issue to you at all. The clarity and all that.
I figured, even when I was zeroing it, I was like, oh God, it's the same clarity as this. Like anybody that saw my video, like it's the same clarity. The only difference is the reticle, which again, Thomas will have annotated. The reason why I went with this one, because again, it's smaller, but because the dive board, which is again stacking tolerances, it's sandwiched in between this base mount, which that's already screwed in to this lower part right here. There's one screw that goes all the way through this and only goes into the optic. So as far as stacking of tolerances, it's not like I'm having thread pitches, but I have the base mount, this riser, the dive board, and then all connected into two screws that go into the optic. And then you have the MOS plate, which its screws are into the dive board, and then the 2 optic screws that go into there. So it's a lot of screws. It's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm saying like, how many
So from a keeping it simple perspective, yes, that's why I do like this, and it is easier. It's easier. It's simpler to put together, and it's easier. It's simpler to put together, and you're not stacking tolerances. So I'm stacking a lot of tolerances, but I'm confident based off of how large these screws were going into this optic and I'm only sandwiching something. I don't think it's really gonna lose zero or really mess up.
Okay,
but that's something we're gonna mess around with.
Okay, yeah, I thought this was a 2-piece mount. Meaning you got to get the pick rail adapter, then the RMR plate. Okay, but
No,
it's all
one
okay.
piece. Yeah.
Okay, that's not as bad. But then again, now you got to deal with the height over bore issue. So
it's the height over bore with this is what I don't like. But the height over bore with this so far, because I just slapped my RMR on here just to see how it feels. Yeah, I want a 509T on this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are gonna say Acro P2. I mean, don't get me wrong. If like somebody can point me in the right direction or like send one to the channel, like
yeah,
by
definitely.
all means, I would love a P2 Acro for sure. I would love to test one, even if it's the original, even if it's a P1. I'll take a P1.
Right.
Like I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, the P1's trash." I'll take a P1. I don't care because I want to see how trash it is myself.
Right.
But I'm not that lucky. I'll try.
Yeah, this is the everyday man. So like,
Yeah, I'm poor.
yeah, if you go to work and
I am a
actually
poor.
work for your money like we do, like this is the setup. Like you're gonna want, and like again, like we were talking with Keith when Keith was here with his ACOG,
Yeah.
paying the extra money for the same performance, right? Like if we're going to the same job and you're driving a fucking Mercedes like S-Class and I'm driving a Honda Accord. They're like,
What's
yes,
the difference between the two of us? Other than the fact that yes, you paid a lot of money for your car, you paid for engineering, you paid for style, and you paid for
a lot of extra shit, but basically just to arrive at the same place.
Yeah, to drive to the same place.
So
It's an image thing, et cetera, yeah. But the point is, it's still a vehicle. It's gonna take me where I need to.
Right, and it's also just another option, for you guys to help you out.
Actually, the fun fact that you brought Keith up, he likes the Aurora reticle over the CQB reticle because it mimics the ACOG.
Like if you're gonna get one of these, get the Aurora reticle. Like I'm a fan of the Aurora reticle. I just already had the horseshoe, and so
I would personally say it's user preference because the horseshoe does come into play and it is useful, but in some applications, which is why I went with the Aurora, I only plan on using this out at distance.
See, the thing where the horseshoe, I guess, will come into play is that the horseshoe is really used for like moving targets. So if you're tracking a moving target, like it's supposed to be like you're supposed to use the inside of the horseshoe if they're walking, the outside of the horseshoe if they're running. It
gives you better reference points for certain things. So again, that's why both of these optics are great. Both of them, and I'll just go ahead and use Reeves because the micro is still something I'm still messing with, and I've messed with this a little bit more.
Actually, my bad. You're supposed to use the outside of the horseshoe if they're walking, and they have 2 dots on the side of the horseshoe for a running target. My bad. But also, the difference with the ACSS and the Aurora is that the ACSS does have ranging, but only for a target that is like standing. And you'll see it again on the pictures. Off to the side of the ACSS, it only has like the little box for a standing target.
Yep.
Now, if you use the Aurora, they have the shoulder marks. I think it's just the shoulder marks.
It's just the shoulder marks.
Yeah.
That's if you're standing in grass.
Right. So they have the ranging for the shoulder marks on the side, but both these reticles will have like your elevation. Your bullet drop. My bad. Your bullet drop compensator, and also some windage holes for I think 5 to 10. This one is just 5 mile-an-hour winds out to 800.
That's 5 to 10.
And this is 5 to 10 out to 800 yards. So again, I'll put up the picture so you can see. Again, user preference, but if you ask me, I would go with the Aurora.
It's definitely, just like Tom said, it's definitely a user preference thing. Mm-hmm. That's why we have so many different ones, and we also have them set up differently. I tried it with the RMR using a Picatinny plate because I know a lot of people would ask, well, I got an RMR, why don't I just go get, $20 mount? Because honestly, this is a UTG $20 mount. I bought it on Amazon just so that people do know.
It's just a little bit extra of like
we're just trying it out.
Right.
But so far, this setup for the macro, and we're gonna call this the macro. This with a 509T, but with that mount, best setup so far.
Yeah. Like I said, Red Arrow Concepts, you know, I paid $50 for the mount. And so I got 2 more mounts for these other optics coming in because we like them so much.
Yeah, we do.
And I had no problem with Zero. I had no problem with it. No screws coming loose or anything. I did make sure I Loctited the screws, of course. Torque them down. No issues with the screws. No issues with the mount. So I'm loving it. And again, even if you did go with this, as you can see, it's not that much height of a bore. So
it will. I will definitely say it'll get you by until if you want to do something like this. Now, I know a lot of people ask, well, why the whole enclosed emitter thing? It's just simply to protect the optic, at least that optic, from the elements. And I know that some people have had issues with enclosed emitters.
And I'm one of those that's kind of had like a little issue with the open emitter, so never mind.
You're trying to like stand them up.
Right, so again, this is more for my pistol, but that closed emitter, it's just a lot more place for like the dust and the lint to collect on my glass. And you know, dirt, let's say if it did take a dump in the dirt, now you got a scoop of mud all up in this little area, water, whatever. And again, for a fighting rifle, it's not something you really want. So having a closed emitter where none of that can get on there, if it does get on there, you just simply wipe the glass and you go.
Well, I guess this will be the next post that everybody can ask. Which do you guys prefer, enclosed or open emitters, as far as on rifles? Because that is one of the things, as far as if you guys pay attention on my content, I am going to test out with this. I'm going to put just a regular red dot on here. I'm going to do one of those woods walk with Keith. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see, because I'm gonna let the rifle get dirty and all that jazz like I normally do, and I want to see how much of a issue it really is having mud in here.
So when we do the water crossing, like we always do, it should accidentally dunk in there to see how the water gets.
Well, I'm 6'2", so I don't go as deep as everybody.
But you could accidentally trip.
The muzzle hovers like ever so slightly across the water.
I know, but I will throw your rifle in the water.
Why would you do that?
To see how I would throw both these rifles in the water just so we can see like what happens when water gets on there. Is there a real
Let us know
issue?
in the comments below. Should we do that? Throw our rifles in the water, well, see what happens.
That had to be like almost like how we're doing the ACOG at home series. We'll have to do it enclosed versus open emitter test.
Fair enough.
But for right now, the ACOG at home. So this is a tabletop. We're definitely going to do a range review.
Yeah.
Just from my experience. Like again, I've taken these out to 600 on this 13.9 setup right here. You see, using 55 grain ball with consistent hits, and I didn't have that much of an issue seeing the target. If it was camouflage and shit, it'd probably be harder to see than a bright white target. But still, I was able to see and know that there's a target down there. I was able to put my line where I needed to be and send rounds and get consistent hits. And so, again, for a 5X, 13.9, doing that, bro, like...
It's just enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, this whole GPR setup I have is just...
And like I said, the micro is just smaller. And with more moving parts because I'm stacking tolerances. But the point is, I'm still testing this out because I think it's still dope.
All right, so again, it's all up to you. If you don't mind a little bit of extra weight, maybe a little bit height of a bore. So again, it's pros and cons. A little bit extra weight, higher height of a bore if you don't get this mount, but it is going to be more robust, more rugged. Now, if you go with this, it's going to be lighter, smaller, but not going to fatigue you if you like that. But with the RMR plate on there, you don't have to get an adapter plate, then the RMR plate. So your height of a bore is not going to be as high. So I almost want to see how is that height of a bore compared to this. Yeah, so your height of a bore is lower. So I'm pretty sure that height of a bore is almost somewhere on par with this. So
I'm just saying, when I was shouldering it, and now granted, because I know some people are seeing me fidget with this, right? I got to get RMR screws to go here. It's just one of those things I didn't know, and I found out until after the fact. So when that's actually screwed down here, everything's gonna be torqued down properly with Vibratight and what have you. So don't grill me in the dang comments about it.
It's just there for show, to show you that you can mount it.
Yes, right. I just wanted people to just see it. So, but even I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn, that does look tight.
All right, so again, all user preference. Like I said, all these optics. I don't know. That's the Trigicon, right?
Yeah, that's an RMR on top.
Okay, well, besides the Trigicon, if you got a hollow sun, it would all be under $800.
That part.
All right, but even with the Trigicon, you think if you had a Trigicon and an ACOG, you're spending at least $1,500. But even with this whole setup, the Trigicon and the 5X micro prism.
No, I think actually with the Trigicon,
I think that's all still under $1,000.
It's still under $1,000.
Yeah. Right, even
because this is, yeah.
So.
And the die board.
Right, so it's all hard. It's hard to beat that. So if you're looking for that dual, GPR optic, or even if you have like a 10.5, you just want both the best worlds to see some of that distance and engage up close. The ACOG at home is honestly, I think, is our go-to right now.
Yeah.
Especially for under $1,000. Yeah, I don't think you can really beat this too much.
Can't beat it. It's super dope. But you got anything else to say?
No, that's about it. Stay tuned for the range review. This is just a tabletop to show you, because again, I think we really got all the models you can get. I got the original with the ACSS.
Yes,
this is like the Optics. This is Optics Planet's version.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Derek.
All right. Shout out Derek from Optics Planet for sending this. But it's still the ACSS horseshoe reticle, just in FDE. We got the 5X macro prism with the Aurora reticle, which I kind of recommend, and then you got the micro prism with the piggyback mount.
Yep. So we got all of them to start doing this testing, because that's what I've been excited about. It's one of the reasons why me and Tom's been working together. So that way we can produce some cool content like this, a compare and contrast of all these different optics, different setups of how people would logically run them, and etc. So.
Exactly. And it's all catered to you guys. It's not
we love y'all
super expensive, elitist optics that you got to take out like a car payment on, right? This is all within our budget. Mm-hmm. So that's even better. So on top of that, guys, again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also check out Undead Profit. Mostly Instagram? You have a channel, right? So
I do have a YouTube channel. It's the same name as my Instagram. It's Undead Profit 0. The number's just there, so it separates, in the algorithm. But I do have a photography page as well. Some of the stills that you will probably see in this video, I'm gonna take and send to Thomas.
This would be a good picture right here to take.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get all this. Yeah.
Just like this instead of the primary arms.
But yeah, I mainly do a lot of more Instagram stuff, and I do a lot more photography stuff. But I am starting to slowly upload onto YouTube, because this man keeps bullying me into doing it. So.
I told him years ago to start. I mean, look where we're kind of.
We're doing joint content now.
Especially for those guys, people who followed my channel for at least 3 years. You kind of seen where I was.
The evolution of Thomas.
Right. Shout out to the ones who've been here since the start of my first year and still.
See, I just got to watch it in the background, so I got to see him get irritated.
Right. So again, this channel is really for my firearms journey, and I'm loving the journey. Just seeing the evolution. Where we are now we're SOTs. Now it's
yeah. Look at how far we come.
Right, exactly. The 3-4 years we've been shooting the shit. I mean, yeah. But yeah, still I think it's a really good picture. But on top of that, guys, again, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways to do it, you can go online, you get a T-shirt, Run 223. You can join Patreon and donate to the channel monthly, which also helps with some of the gear and the cameras and the equipment. Or you can come here to Jacksonville, Florida, get a training class by either one of us or both of us, whether it be CCW, rifle, pistol, or a whole other bunch of gaming stuff, gun cleaning. If you want to buy a gun, we'll help you.
You name it.
Exactly, we'll help you buy a gun online. If there's a better price than what we offer, we'll help you get it. We're an FFL, so if you buy the gun, it can be sent here at the cheapest price for a transfer fee you're going to get in Jacksonville, Florida. Guaranteed.
We guarantee you that.
Guaranteed.
And we stand by that.
All right, so you don't have to buy a gun from us, but have it sent here, just to help, support the business. Again, cheapest price in Jacksonville. On top of that, stay dangerous. You got anything?
No, I'm good. Like I said, if you want to see any of my content, any stuff that I upload, go on YouTube, type in Undead Prophet Zero. I got like one video up there right now, but I plan on releasing a little bit more stuff as I'm doing the testing. And
One
stuff
video,
on
10 million views already.
Right? But if you want to check out some of my photography, that's Undead Productions Zero. So if you want to check out some of that stuff that I've done, again, I need to upload a lot more stills because I still got a lot of stills.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you guys will see me on Instagram. So if you really want to see me the most, that's where I'm at. So.
All right. So on top of that, stay dangerous, stay
Always.
educated. LocsNLoad out.